Morning, my name is Mark. Today we're going to be talking about why small farms and ranchers matter. Recently, well not too recently, but in the history of the US, we've seen a dramatic loss in small farms and the rise of, giant farms, giant big companies like Tyson, who makes, all your chicken nuggets and everything. And I want to talk about today why it's important to have small farms. I mean, why is it important? If you have small farms, the quality a lot of times can be way higher because you aren't doing everything to the utmost efficiency. In 1935, there was nearly 7 million farms in the US. Now, jump forward to today, present day, there are less than 2 million farms. But the land in farmland across the US has stayed the same. I'm going to put a little graph up here on screen, and you can see the giant drop after 1935 in farms. But if you look at the very bottom line, it's almost steady. So the amount of farmland in the U.S. has stayed the same, but the amount of farms has dropped. Now, why does it matter? Big farms, you can undercut all the little farms. A lot of companies can do that. Some of the big companies, what they'll do is they'll operate at a loss. So they'll sell their products at a loss, and then they sell it at a loss until they become the predominant company, and then they raise their prices, and then they start making a profit. But by then, because you were able to cut your prices so low to where you're losing money, you've undercut all the small businesses because the small businesses can't operate at a loss for that long. So when you have all these giant farms, when you have let's just say 5 or 6 huge farms, it means you don't have any options. It means I can get my meat, let's just say meat for example, I can get it from A, B, or C, instead of if you have a small business, and let's just say you have 50 small farms around you, then I have a choice of 50 farms where I can go to get my meat. I can get my meat from Joe, I can get my meat from, Max, I can get my meat from Bob down the road. There's all these different places you can get your meat. And what it also means is that let's say I don't like Bob's meat. I don't like how he treats his animals. I don't like how he's raising his product. Okay, well then I go to Joe, or I go to Max. I can move. Whereas if I have 3 big companies, A, B, and C, if I don't like A, then I guess I can go to B. But if I don't like B, then I don't have to go to C. And the same thing works. If you have 50 farms, surely you can find one of them that is doing things in a right way. Well, and if you don't want antibiotics in your meat, well, I guess you have 3 companies. Hopefully, one of them sells something with antibiotics. If you don't want your animals that you're eating to be vaccinated, well, I there's I have 3 options over here, or there's 50 over here. So for the consumer, having small farms is incredible because you get the most choices. It means you get to make the decision for yourself rather than having some other big company say, no, this is the best way to do it. Because if you have a small farms, I guarantee, all 50 of them, I guarantee they're not probably all going to be doing it the same way. And even now, you have some small farms that are just raising meat for big companies, like, pork houses, chicken houses, even cows. Some people, get cows and they'll just, sell them to the feedlot or whatever. And then the feedlot, then they do whatever they do with them, and then they sell them to Walmart and all your grocery stores. But if you the farmer get to own the whole thing and you sell the product to the consumer, number one, the farmer makes more money, which I think is always a great thing. Support your farmers. Instead of the cut going to the big company and then the butchers, and then the farmers make a little bit of money too, it means that you pay the farmer and then the butcher, and then there's not much else. And it also means that you support people in your local community. And the only way to stop these giant companies from continuing to get larger and larger and larger and larger is to go support your small farms. Go support them. Go buy your beef from I'm a local farmer. Something that I think is incredible here is I just moved here to Arkansas, and I know people here who raise cattle. You know, they have 40, 50 head of cattle, right? And they sell all their cattle to the feedlot, the sale barn, whatever it is. So they don't make a very good money because they don't go direct to consumer. If they go direct to consumer, they would make more money. But then they don't eat any of their cattle. They raise the cattle. They know exactly what went into the cattle, and yet they go buy cattle at the grocery store, or we were talking to somebody and they were like, yeah, maybe I should buy it from this farm. Like, they do a really good job with their cows, and I know them and I could talk to them about what they put in their cows. I'm like, you have cows. You raise cows. Why don't you eat your own cows? It seems like people don't want to eat their own food that they're producing. And again, with small farms, you have a choice. You have 50, let's just say 50 choices and 3 choices. That's another video that's going to come out here soon about small businesses, specifically small businesses and these giant corporations. When you walk into the grocery store, like, do you really have a choice? But that'll be in next week's video. Don't let me get ahead of myself. Buying the meat direct from the farmer, number one, makes the farmer way more money, and then 2, you get it for a cheaper price. I was in Walmart the other day and I saw the price of ground beef, and it wasn't low fat ground beef. I think it was like 70-30, so 30% fat, and that I couldn't believe the price of that beef. It was ridiculous. Whereas you can go to a farmer, buy it for a cheaper price, and then the farmer makes more money. So check out your local farmers, see if you can help them out, buy some beef, buy some good food for your family. So hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this video, check out the video right here. But other than that, I'll see you next time.